I'm Dr. Jeff DeHaan. This is my wife, Jamie, orthopedic surgeon in Texarkana, Texas. I started back in 1987. Well, we were on a cruise in Austria going down the Danube River and went out to eat. We were having a good time and basically went to bed around 11:30. I went to sleep pretty much right away. My wife luckily stayed up and was on the phone. She heard me make a noise. She thought I was snoring, so she elbowed me. I didn't respond normally, so she looked over and I was in trouble.
We were in the middle of the river and having a great time with a group of friends, and he wanted to go to bed. He had no complaints that night, that day, and he went to bed and he said, "Let's go to sleep." And I said, "No, my niece and nephew were texting that night," and I said, "It's the only time I can talk to them because of the difference in time." And I said, "I'll go to bed in just a few minutes." And I was answering them and I heard him, it sounded like a snore or something. And I said, "Jeff," and I kind of ignored it. And so I kept texting and I heard it again. And I looked over and he was really red and just unresponsive. And I shook him and I knew he was in trouble. And I yelled for help. And I thought, I've got to get up, and just screaming, "Help, help." And they started coming, and there was a nurse anesthetist next door, and they got him, and he came in and he took over. Our friend Brian Neal, a nurse anesthetist that was with the group traveling with us, came in and did the CPR for 30 to 40 minutes on Jeff, and just an angel from God that just saved Jeff's life, literally. But Brian really knew how to do it, and he kept the blood flow going to the brain, and you could hear him talking and saying that out loud the whole time he was doing it. "I have to keep the blood flow going to his brain. I have to keep the blood flow going to his brain," and he never stopped. And that was so crucial.
And everyone was in the hall with Jamie, in and out of the room, in Lisa's room with Jamie, in and out with Jeff, praying. Everybody was just trying to touch everybody, hold hands, say the Lord's Prayer over and over, just being, "Jeff, come back. Jeff, we're here." Jamie and I got to the hospital in the room at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5, and the nurses were trying to get us out of there, and we just said, "We're not leaving. We're going to sit here." And we were on either side of his bed. We're touching, we were still praying, and then it was just like he kind of came back and reached and looked at Jamie and tried to reach and talk. And then we let him know that we were praying, he was okay, and God was with us. And then
that's when we really think life came back to Jeff. We all truly believe he was dead.
I just told the doctors, "Do not give up on him," and they didn't. It was, you can't even explain how, you just can't explain it.
The first thing I remember is waking up in a Viennese hospital, and my doctor was speaking German to me, trying to tell me what he had done. My daughters actually traveled over to visit me. I don't remember seeing them. So it was like 3 or 4 days later when I finally woke up.
Every obstacle that was placed in the way, God took care of it. It was a miracle every day. Jamie and I saw God's hand at work every day. Mm-hmm. Whether it was communication problems with the staff or something they said needed to be done, it was done. It appeared and it happened, and he was transferred to 3 different hospitals, 4 if you count Cleveland, and it was frustrating to have to move, but you knew it was where he was supposed to be at that time. That's how he got the very best care. God placed Jeff where he needed to be at that time.
And each person with him, each nurse, each doctor, everything.
In every hospital, the staff, the doctors, they would come in and they would have heard about Jeff, and they would say, "We want to see this man."
Yeah,
we
his miracle.
Yeah,
They
and
called him
people
the
would just
miracle.
come in and just want to be with him.
Even the doctor said that.
Yeah,
It was like,
over and
you're
over.
lucky. We know he's lucky. He knows he's lucky.
Well, I've said, we all know CPR. If you ask me, sure, I know CPR. But would you actually step up and do it? In that moment, I think we all just kind of stood there. It's hard to believe this is actually happening. The chest compressions saved his life. And not quitting. He
Continually.
never stopped.
He continued. Everybody thought that Jeff was gone. Brian continued on.
I think the thing mainly to take home is that anybody can do CPR. You just got to get trained for it. Because, like we mentioned, I had 45 minutes of CPR, and basically that's what saved my life.